So unfortunately, the podcast to Philippe couldn't actually be on the ground in Montreal for the recent Summit IA8 creation.
Right, bit of shame.
But we did get the inside scoop thanks to David Pirapan's firsthand account.
Exactly. He co-organized it, actually, May 14th, a full day just focused on AI and creativity.
That what we really want to do is give you a rapid-fire download of the key insights, how AI is, shaking things up in the creative world.
Yeah, and what was really interesting about this summit, unlike maybe some other tech expos, is that it prioritized hearing directly from creators.
Ah, okay. So less theory, more practice.
Precisely. A really fresh human take on how AI is impacting their actual work.
Got it. So our mission here is to pull out the, let's say, 10 key observations from all those talks and conversations, give you a concise but thorough picture.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Well, the first big thing seems to be what they called the creative mental shock.
Julien Vallée from Vallée du Hamel apparently described the arrival of AI tools as a creative tsunami.
Wow, a tsunami.
Yeah. It's not just new tech. It's this massive mental adjustment creators are facing, like a sort of soft panic almost.
I can see that. And Audrey Gagnon mentioned the cognitive load too, right? Just the sheer number of decisions involved in training and using these things.
Absolutely. It's constant input, constant choices, a real mental workout just to keep pace.
Okay, so alongside that shock, though, there's this other trend emerging. The solo creator becoming like a micro-agency.
Right. Insight number 2. With the right AI setup, one person can potentially handle what used to take a whole team for a campaign.
Like Phil Cipriano from Ghostwriter Cafe, automating, 80% of his production?
Yeah, branding, promos, visuals, all streamlined with custom AI. It's pretty impressive.
And then there's Elias Shamil, who created a whole fictional band, Vlad and Bostock.
Music, visuals, text, everything. Done solo with pretty affordable AI tools. It really lowers the barrier to entry for ambitious projects.
Which kind of leads to the third point, this idea of the glitch as a visual language.
Oh yeah, this is fascinating. What some people see as AI mistakes or hallucinations.
Others are actually embracing them.
Exactly, using them as raw creative material. Julien Vallée apparently suggested these aren't really errors, maybe just things we haven't learned how to see yet.
That's a cool perspective. Like Alicia Reyno, Malavita, making those broken textures her signature style.
Right, she's basically established the AI glitch as a legitimate aesthetic. It's not just an accident anymore.
Okay, so moving on. AI seems to be bringing back more agile, maybe even artisanal ways of creating, like using your iPhone.
Yeah, that's Insight 4. People are shooting with smaller setups, sometimes just phones, and then using AI like Runway or Pika for the heavy lifting in post-production.
So it becomes less about having the fanciest camera and more about the idea itself.
Totally. The freedom to experiment and iterate quickly becomes the real luxury, not the expensive gear.
Which means, and this is number 5, just keeping up is now a core skill.
Oh, definitely. New models pop up weekly, interfaces change, prompting techniques evolve.
Yeah.
It's relentless.
So you constantly have to be testing, documenting, comparing things.
Pretty much. Continuous learning isn't just nice to have. It's fundamental now for staying relevant.
Okay, and that leads into open source, right? Number 6, it's becoming strategic, not just ideological.
Exactly. Albert Zablett, a photographer using AI, made a strong point about owning your models instead of just renting pixels via subscriptions.
Right, and he's not even a coder, but he's using things like Comfy UI, hosting locally, training his own stuff.
Yeah, his reasons are pretty practical. Avoid subs, keep control, maintain confidentiality. It shows open source AI is getting more accessible and offers real advantages.
So the relationship itself is changing too. That's point 7. AI as a teammate.
It's moving beyond just software. It's becoming more like a collaborator.
Like Marika Dotul seeing ChatGPT as a reflection of her own thinking.
Or Elias Jamil viewing AI as this tireless creative assistant, always ready for the next idea.
And Guillermo Cassiano said it was like an extension of his intuition, exploring paths he wouldn't find alone.
Yeah, it's about collaboration now, a dialogue, not just issuing commands.
Okay, but let's get a dose of reality here. Insight 8. It's not necessarily that expensive, but it's definitely time-consuming.
Right. AI can cut down on some financial costs, but the time investment is significant.
Albert Zablett mentioned all the iterations needed for training models effectively, the reruns, the tests.
Exactly. And if you're working solo, like we discussed, you're doing everything. That adds up time-wise. The AI magic still needs serious human effort.
And all that effort can lead to burnout. Which brings us to Insight 9. AI doesn't replace intuition or balance.
So true. Creating with AI is exciting, but it's intense. It can lead to fatigue, that mental overload we mentioned earlier.
So people were talking about needing to consciously slow down, find some equilibrium.
Yeah, Elias Jamel specifically mentioned mixing AI projects with traditional shoots to keep things balanced.
Yeah.
There's this collective feeling of needing to relearn how to pace oneself.
Okay, so finally, the 10th insight, the big takeaway feeling from the summit.
It really felt like AI is seen as a massive playground right now, not some fixed destination.
A playground, I like that.
Yeah. Nobody has all the definitive answers. Everyone's just actively experimenting, testing, questioning, discovering.
So it's okay not to know everything. There's permission to just try things.
Absolutely. That seemed to be the overarching vibe. Embrace the unknown, play around.
So wrapping up, the Summit IA8 creation really highlighted this profound shift. It's about adaptation, new kinds of collaboration, and a real emphasis on experimentation.
Which leaves us with a big question, maybe for you listening. As this AI playground keeps evolving, how is it going to change the very definition of creativity?
Yeah.
And what's the human creator's role going to look like down the line?
That's definitely something to think about. And if you found this deep dive useful, please do check out Le Podcast de Philippe for more perspectives on tech and creativity.
Yeah, and hey, help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We'd really appreciate the support.